Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, it's the series where I don't provide the content, and hopefully you don't provide the content, reviewing armchair GMs on Cap Friendly. Looking at myself in the little video thing, this is going to take a little bit of time to get used to. Jesus, I look like I'm 12. But in today's video, we're going to switch it up a little bit. You guys are going to be the ones providing the content. A couple of you left me links to your own armchair GMs and asked for my feedback, and I thought it would be more fun to do an actual video on it. I think it's a good way to interact with you guys because without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And if any more of you guys want to do this, all you have to do is make your own armchair GM on Cap Friendly. It's pretty intuitive. I'll show you guys how to do it at the end of the video if you're not 100% sure, and I'll leave the link in the video description. Just leave the link to it in the comment section once you're done, and I'll make another video like this sometime. So forgive me, Michael, I'm not 100% sure of your YouTube name here, but the name is up on the top here. I believe you've been a subscriber for a really long time, so thank you very much for the support here on the channel. And I'm not sure when Michael made this or so, but he's working under an $84 million salary cap, which is more than likely not going to be a thing. But the main point here is he's trying to add Alex Pietrangelo to this team, so there's a lot of salary cuts and a lot of trades here. So the first two moves that Michael made here are Travis Dermott and Dennis Malgin for a 4th and a 3rd round pick. I think that you could get a little bit more for Travis Dermott, and I don't really think Dennis Malgin has any real trade value, to be real honest with you. Maybe a 2nd and a 3rd, or a 2nd and a 5th, something like that for Travis Dermott. But I mean, you're trying to just get rid of the salary here because you're adding Alex Pietrangelo. And then Pierre Engvall for a 5th round pick. I could see the logic there. Pierre Engvall makes $1.25 million. And he hasn't really been playing well since signing that contract. Kind of just the king of just nothing happening when he's out there on the ice. So I could see why you would move him if you really needed the cap dollars to bring in a player like Alex Pietrangelo. But ideally, I would like to hold on to Pierre Engvall. And then the last two trades that he has here is Kasperi Kapanen for a 2nd and a 4th, and Andreas Johnsson for a 4th and a 6th. Now, ideally, I'd like to get more for Andreas Johnsson here, but he's coming off of a knee injury, and that definitely does impact his trade value. I don't really know if I would trade Kasperi Kapanen. I would more look to trade Alexander Kerfoot instead of him because Kasperi Kapanen is younger. He has a more standout skill in his skating ability, and I think that he has potential to be better than what we've seen right now, especially with him getting scrappy. Cappy's been getting scrappy lately, and I'm really liking it. So I'm looking over the lines here, and I'd really like to see Joe Thornton playing with Austin Matthews, one of the greatest passers of the previous generation, passing the puck to one of the greatest goal scorers of the now and into the future would just be absolutely insane to me. But I guess him passing the puck to John Tavares would be pretty cool too. You got Alex Pietrangelo playing with Jake Muzzin? Really? Really? I mean, Mo's been here for so long. He's been through so much with us and stuff like that. He's gone through Matt Hunwick and Nikita Zaitsev and Ron Hainsey and Cody Ceci now, and you're still going to stick him with Justin Holl? Don't do Mo like that, Michael. But again, working under the $84 million cap to sign Alex Pietrangelo, if you'd like me to explore a video where the Maple Leafs could get him operating on a flat cap, it's gonna be really tough, but I will try my best if you guys want to see that. Next one up here is Richard. Richard, I believe you're a more recent subscriber and stuff like that, but I've interacted with you a couple of times now. We've disagreed, but we've respectfully disagreed with each other, so I like that. Thank you for that. But Richard's going to be a little bit more bold here. He's going to come in with the 1-2 punch right away, trading our boy William Nylander to the Detroit Red Wings for Tyler Bertuzzi and Anthony Mantha. And while I like those two players, I like my Willie, you know? It's just, it's a thing. And then you're throwing in Travis Dermott and Andreas Johnsson there too, and I don't know. I really like William Nylander. I'm not one of those people that just is blind to his faults and stuff like that. Like, guys, like, he takes a couple of shifts off every once in a while, and he does still need to be reminded that there's a hockey game going on and whatnot, but he's on pace for 1 goal shy of Phil Kessel's best goal-scoring season here in Toronto, which was 37 goals, and Nylander being on pace for 36, and he's still getting included in trade proposals. And then Ryan Donato for a 1st-round pick there. I don't know if Ryan Donato's worth a 1st-round pick or not, but I do like Ryan Donato. I've watched him play a couple of times when I was betting on hockey games, and he made me some money, so I'm liking me some Ryan Donato. And I do really like the Dylan DeMello signing. I was kind of disappointed when the Maple Leafs didn't go after him at the trade deadline, considering he only went for like a third-round pick. But then the Sens here have that weird thing where they don't like trading within the division, and then Florida did that whole thing where they said, oh yeah, you're not going to trade us Mike Hoffman. Well, San Jose is going to trade for him, and then we're going to trade with them behind your back, and he's going to stay in the Atlantic Division anyway. And then Paul Maurice for the Winnipeg Jets had that quote about watching Dylan DeMello play hockey is like watching porn for coaches. It's just, it's a comment. But I do think that he should be a guy that the Maple Leafs should target in free agency. I don't think that he'll command a ton of money, and he could make for a decent defensive partner for Morgan Riley. He's probably like a better version of Ron Hainsey, if I could describe what type of player Dylan DeMello is. So, Richard, I like a couple of moves that you made there. I like the idea of acquiring Josh Manson and then signing Dylan DeMello. I like the idea of the Maple Leafs possibly taking on another LTIR contract like David Backes to get a little bit of a cheaper acquisition cost for a defenseman or something like that. I like all of those ideas, but I really just want to keep the core together, right? And to win with the current core that we have. And that's the challenge, right? It's the challenge with doing these things is to keep the core together and also make the team better, because that's the predicament that the team is in right now. It's easy to just trade Mitch Marner or trade William Nylander or trade someone making a lot of money and then say, now we have all this space to go out and make these moves. Now, this is not from a subscriber. This is from Cabby91, but I liked the idea of it. Leafs no cap raise 1 buyout, which is, I kind of did a video on this already. And the first trade that he's going to make there is Damon Severson for Travis Dermott and Andreas Johnsson. I think Damon Severson would cost a little bit more than this. You're probably going to have to add in a pick and or a prospect, or just a pick or a prospect, but I really like the idea of acquiring Damon Severson. When the Leafs were shopping Nazem Kadri, or when they were rumored to be shopping him, I really liked Damon Severson as a candidate for a Nazem Kadri trade. And then he has Kasperi Kapanen going to the Calgary Flames for Adam Ruzicka and a second-round pick. I would rather trade Alexander Kerfoot instead of Kasperi Kapanen for reasons that I've already explained, but I can see the logic in it. So we're just going to scroll down here and just see the lines and stuff like that. He's got Joe Thornton signing with the Maple Leafs here. I think that Joe comes a little bit cheaper than that. I think that Ilya Mikheyev comes a little bit cheaper than that. I don't like Dennis Malgin on the fourth line there. I don't like Jeremy Bracco there. There's no Nick Robertson. Any of these without Nick Robertson on them for next season are just automatically wrong. But I like the idea of adding Patrick Maroon in there, a player with some size, a player that can really get in. I think Fans would really like Patrick Maroon, and I think he's actually a decent player. Okay, so we've already had armchair GMs where people were trading Nylander and Marner, so why not have one where they're trading Matthews too? So I'm just going to reveal all the trades here, and he's got Austin Matthews going to the Carolina Hurricanes for Teuvo Teravainen and Sebastian Aho. And I think that the Carolina Hurricanes would say no to this. I think that the Toronto Maple Leafs would say no to this. I don't think that this trade would ever be talked about. And like I said, any of these that include Austin Matthews in them are automatically disqualified here. But I think that Carolina says no to this trade just because Teuvo Teravainen and Sebastian Aho are signed long-term, and they're on decent contracts, and they're both having awesome seasons right now for them. And then Andreas Johnsson for a second and a third-round pick, which if you look at what wingers were going for at the trade deadline that just passed, second and a third-round pick for Andreas Johnsson, yes, please. And then David Savard for 2 second-round picks and some salary retained. I don't really know what's going on in Columbus or what their plans could be for next season, how their situation looks. But if they're going to want to trade away David Savard, I would jump on that. I don't really like Dennis Malgin on the fourth line, but I think that that's a very small thing to pick out here. And there's no Timothy Liljegren, but he does have Travis Dermott. I would move Travis Dermott out and play Timothy Liljegren instead so that everyone's on their correct side here. But as Logan pointed out in the comment section the other day, as long as we're shouting out subscribers here, Logan, you've been here for a really long time. Thank you for your support. You've always been really sensible in the comment section. You could trade Timothy Liljegren and keep Travis Dermott as well. That's a real possibility. possibility, and I'm open to it, but you'd need to get back fair value for Timothy Liljegren. And there's no Nick Robertson here, so it's automatically all wrong, never mind the fact that he traded Austin Matthews. But again, if you guys want to be featured in one of these videos, all you got to do is come over to capfriendly.com, click on the interactive tab, click on armchair GM, and then go over here to click create a team. Find the team that you want to do it for. If you want me to review a different team, I mean, I guess I could. Select the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then pick your season here. If you want to do it for next season, you just give it a change, and then you give it a little bit of a name here. I always name mine We Can and We Will, because that's the Kyle Dubas quote. You add in your salary cap, and then you just scroll down, and you can move everything around. You can make trades and stuff like that, sign UFAs, sign RFAs and whatnot. You can even look at like the long-term outlooks and stuff like that as well. And then once you're done, all you have to do is hit publish and then send me the link in the comment section or on Twitter or wherever. But beware, you have to create an account and sign into the account before you do the armchair GM. If you do the armchair GM and then elect to create an account or sign into your account, you'll have to redo the entire armchair GM. It's happened to me a couple of times. So leave me a like on this video if you did like it, and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And guys, again, hopefully you all are staying safe out there, and hopefully things are not too bad wherever you are in the world right now. And I will talk to you again very shortly.